Okay, my name is Clement Williams, photojournalist in my previous employment. Now that I am stationed at the Tobago Market Haberdashery section, HC10, in which I have established a passport and ID photo studio. This is my equipment to do scanning. There's some of my photographs, the camera for the passport photos.
All right.
Section.
All right, Clement, you are one of the veteran journalists in Tobago, though you don't look like a veteran. How long have you been in the media field?
Okay, I started as a photojournalist with the Tobago News back in the early 80s, myself, and as a freelance photographer. Then I went over to Trinidad Express and worked with them for some years. And then I came to Tobago to work with the THA.
So you were in Trinidad before?
No, I was in Tobago as the Trinidad Express photojournalist in Tobago. And this last one number of years as a freelancer. And then I went to the Independent, and then from that I came over to the THA. And over to the THA as the photographer too in the photography unit of the information division. And I stayed on there until 2016 when I retired from.
As you look at, first thing, how or why did you get involved in media and photojournalism?
Okay, I love photography.
Since when?
Since I was going to school. And when I came to Tobago to live.
So where you came from?
I came from Guyana.
So you're
Guyanese by boat.
And Tobagonian by boat?
By boat. Yeah, and I was encouraged to get into it by photography full time by Mr. Ray Richardson from Ray Photo Studio. And I decided to take up the challenge, and from then on I started doing photographs of historical sites in Tobago, just as I have a knack for that, you know. So I started doing that, and then I documented history of Tobago of buildings.
You'll get to that behind the way. We'll get to that in a little while. What are some of the highlights for you as you look back on your
Some of the highlights to me is that I was able to capture the strike squad in 1989.
So you went to Trinidad for that match?
For that match.
Yes.
It was an exciting period of time. Also doing work in Tobago for the assembly elections and the swearing in of thing. But my highlight in it is that being working with the THA, I was able to document Tobago by air. Right? I did two aerial pictures of Tobago.
Okay.
Right? And that was part of my highlight. Highlight is being able to photograph Tobago from helicopter and the World Cup matches.
Well, photojournalism has changed from then to now. We'll get to that just now. But as you look at it now, what would you say to encourage, or would you encourage young persons to get into journalism and photojournalism?
I will encourage young persons to get into photojournalism because the field is wide. You can do news. You can do for magazines. You can do. That's the basic thing, news and magazines.
Who are some of your content persons who you work with, whether in Tobago or Trinidad?
Well, I work with Delanne Stewart, she was the senior chief photographer at Express. I work with
any of them around who then around the
I think
the landscape now?
Della is still around on the landscape. Robert Taylor, another photographer, I work with Cadalo. These are photographers I work with. Barry Jameson. I don't know if he's alive still, but these are guys who we work together as photojournalists.
All right.
During the years.
We just had Wayne Bowman passing it. You familiar with him?
Familiar with the name Bowman, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know him personally, but the name is familiar. Right. Another guy that passed that was a very good photographer is Ubozel. He was the photographer too at the information division in Trinidad.
All right. So we're talking about you started in the 80s. That is 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And we have a little record here of his years in photography. So when he started from then till now?
I started with a Pentax, but then I went to the Minolta. But these are some of the cameras I used the Minolta for some years. But these cameras before are just cameras that I collected. This was a 1937 made by the Germans. And a Minox. This is the Practical, 1949. This is a 1949 the company came in, but this is a 1967 model with a screw type lens, and is the Chinese camera. And the Minolta, this is the camera they used to use long ago for portraits.
So this is really an archive because yes. Go ahead.
Right, and to finish the top shelf, this is my last film camera, the Canon EOS 3.
What era you use that in?
That was used in the late 1990s,
Okay.
going to the 2000s.
And today we just use a cell phone, huh?
Use a cell phone now. Now these are my digital cameras over the years. They came to from the Canon 10D, the 30D, the 40, the 60. On the camera stack with the video is the 50D, and in my stock at home is the 90D.
So you have some at home?
I have my 90D home. That is my main camera that I use to do any senior assignments. This is Olympus camera, digital. These are the 126 cameras.
Oh, give us a time period for those.
These are back in the 1960s and 70s.
Okay.
Right, that Kodak bought out. And these are some of the lenses that I use.
So tell us show us one that the modern children might be familiar with.
Well, the only thing we're familiar with is the cell phone. The most children use cell phone now.
Okay.
Right.
Tell us about the Olympus here.
But this Olympus is my first digital camera. And I paid $5,000 for this small camera at the time. Now the big cameras are going to be the same price. But this is my first digital camera that I played with when the digital age came into being.
Alright, this device here.
This is a light box that we used long ago. When you shoot the negatives, you just put it across and you turn on the light and you can see your exposures of the negatives.
So for young photographers now, and even people don't know about the developing films and all of that.
Developing films is something of the past.
Yeah.
Everything is on the computer. As I grow in photography, I decided to do books.
Alright. Tell us about that recent one, anybody.
The camera. Well, this is the Canon 50D, which I'm using to do the Canon 50D. I'm using to do the passport pictures. Right, and this is the old Jupiter flash, which is the 23 flash, which was used for the lighthouse long ago.
Alright. So you have been documenting some of your work, and you have produced several books.
I produced the image of Tobago. It deals with old pictures of Tobago. Right? Those cameras used to look in the 1940s and 50s, sometimes 70s. But this was done in conjunction with other photographers and other persons who I collected photographs to compile this one. Right? I also collaborated with Mr. Jazad Ali in Trinidad, and we did a production on Swiss Family Robinson, Disney Heritage. He is doing a research in it, and we got in contact because of one photograph, and then we got together and we did interviews in Tobago of Tobagoans who were involved in backstage work in putting up, building the studio, working on the
That's the movie, the Swiss Family Robinson.
So and the taxi drivers and the cooks.
There was another big movie here, it's Fire Down Below.
Yeah.
You got on this? Yeah.
No, not that.
That was in where Blue Haven is now.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Well, Blue Haven, the shark scene from the movie Swiss Family was filmed in Blue Haven swimming pool.
Okay.
So, and these are the documentation of the thing. So Judges Ali and myself, we did research and we co-wrote the book.
All right. You
also, while working with the THA, I produced about the first edition of the Clean, Green and Serene Capital Paradise. My photography.
But that has been a theme for the THA for
a number of years.
Yes.
And I did 90% of the photography from this book.
All right.
So that's basically it. Of my life as a photographer in Tobago, spanning the last 40 years.
So do you do photography in what extent now?
In what extent I might do a little wedding or little events, but I'm not so fully out there. I'm not working in the nights. But
You're enjoying your retirement?
enjoying the relaxation of just doing a little photo shoot now and then, and my passport pictures that I'm content with.
Tell us about where we could find you on Facebook and some of your
Okay,
work.
I can be found on Facebook with Clement Williams, and on Instagram at Clement George Williams Photo.
Alright.
So the basic platform I use.
Thank you, sir.